Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this month's version of Métis Coffee Talk. I'm not sure if the video came through on the introduction. I don't know what happened there, but I don't think it was going off. It was working a minute ago. But welcome to this live show. As you can tell, we're rolling with whatever happens to us in the moment, and so I do appreciate your patience. My name is Keith Henry. I'm the president of the BC Métis Federation, and I'm coming to you live, hosting this month's edition of Coffee Talk for this Thursday, June 27th. Here we are heading into summer. So I want to welcome our guests tonight, our Vice President, Renee Therian, all the way from obviously Terrace, joining us yet again with his backup mic, and of course, Roseanne in the background. So good evening, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Good. We're having a ball here. We're thank you for having us.
Great. Mike, it's nice to see you again. I know we saw you last week at the Métis event happening up in Fort St. John, or Charlie Lake, I guess it was. So nice to see you again.
Thank you very much. It was great to be there.
Yeah, how did you enjoy yourself? I think you've been to other obviously music festivals, not over the years, but this was a little more of a Métis slant. Hopefully, you enjoyed yourself last week, learning a little bit more about some of the members and that, and other parts of the province.
Yeah, you betcha. Like, I'm not Métis myself, but I'm learning more about Métis culture, hanging around with Renee and going to these Métis events. So it's great for me. It's really good for me, actually.
Yeah, well, thank you for your contributions. You guys were another dynamic band playing, but we also had another band member there. I know she's in behind the camera, but I want to say good evening to our technical support back there, Roseanne Forget. I know she's in behind the screen there. So hi, Roseanne, how are you doing?
I'm good, Keith. Thank you.
Yeah, how did you enjoy playing last weekend?
I absolutely loved it. It was great. It
Perfect.
was a real fun time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to jump right in because I would love to start with some culture. So, I mean, the intro didn't work tonight, so I don't think it was coming through on your guys' end, was it?
No.
No.
I don't know. Anyways, okay, I don't know what happened. I just played it literally a minute ago. There's monkeys in my computer here, but Renee, Mike, what's the first? Why did you play us your first song? What's it going to be, Renee?
My first song is going to be one that I woke up one morning about 20 years ago, and I called it Pollyanna. And here it is.
Perfect. Perfect. Great job, gentlemen. Yet again. What was the name of the song again, Renee?
Pollyanna. My
Oh,
granddaughter, I called it under my granddaughter's name, Polly.
perfect. Well, very nice song. Great way to kick off the show. And tonight we do have a lot of things to go over, obviously, for all of our members and our friends, and obviously those that are watching but wanting to learn a little more about the BC Métis Federation and the work that we do. So tonight I'm going to jump in. Of course, there's a number of items in that, and of course I'll jump to our friends in Terrace and ask them, some opinions. I might ask Roseanne to jump in on it. I know she's in the background there, as we said. So we'll most definitely be finding out exactly what her thoughts are on a few things, because we do have some stuff to go through for this month as well. So, like anything in the Métis world, we have lots of stuff going on. But the first thing that I want to bring to everyone's attention that I think some of you may have seen. We just sent it out today. I want to let people know we've officially started to move now towards asking people to, of course, save the date for our annual general meeting. Hard to believe, but we're now planning our 13th annual general meeting of the organization as we've formed the BC Métis Federation. It will be in Victoria, British Columbia, on Vancouver Island. Of course, as many of you from BC know exactly where that is. Beautiful city. We're at the Parkside Hotel. It's actually the Parkside Hotel and Spa in Victoria, BC. That's Saturday, September 7th. Renee, the AGM is always a time of a lot of, updates for members. We have a number of paid delegates, other people that show up. We're asking people to save the date. What's your thoughts about the AGM this year? Are you excited to get down to Victoria, British Columbia? What's your view on what should we expect at the annual general meeting this year? Any thoughts?
Well, I'm looking forward to attend our 13th year, and I'm looking forward to meet a lot of good friends, from around. And we've been at it for 13 years. There's a lot of accomplishment, lots of good people that came on board. I'm hope to meet some of them again, and I'm looking forward for it.
Yeah, same here. In terms of the agenda, like I just want people to, we've already posted the agenda on our website. If you've been on our website at all, we will be bringing delegates from a number of all of our partner communities. We will be bringing elder reps, youth reps, women reps. We're also looking at different departments, bringing some of their individuals. And we're going to be having a lot of obviously it's governance, a governance style meeting, but there are important things and opportunities, of course, for members to be aware of and to vote on and things like that, right? One of the most important will be that this is an election for us. We have our elections every 2 years with the BC Métis Federation. We elect 4 executives, so president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, and we elect 5 board members at large. So we will be sending out the election process as well in short order. Some information has already been posted on our website. If you're a full member of the BC Métis Federation, you're certainly eligible to run for one or any of the positions. I know that myself and our vice president have been around for a long time, and we'll see what comes of where we end up after this election. Should we run, or should any of us decide not to? But definitely a lot of important pieces of work. That's obviously one of the most important things. The reason why I want to show the agenda, though, beyond just sort of the fact of a standard, we'll be reviewing the minutes of the 12th annual general meeting, of course, the reporting from this last year, pretty standard stuff. The elections, will be happening, of course, as part of the annual general meeting, as you can see here. And there'll be a lot of important updates that we'll be sharing about what we call priority initiatives for 24-25. We post our business plan, our action plan. People see us on the show and they think, we see a lot of Métis fiddling in that. But there is a significant amount of work that's happening with our legal declaration case, with our Pacific Northwest research. We are hoping to see the next iteration of the Spark Métis program. We're continuing with the coastal water protectors, and we're just going to continue to share information for members, Michif language, on and on and on. So these are things that we will continue to make members aware of. And like any good Métis event, at the end of it, we will have in our culture, we often refer to as the Métis kitchen party. And it'll be to celebrate, the closing of the annual general meeting. It'll be 6:30 till 10 p.m. Dinner is provided for delegates. So what we're saying, though, is if you're a full member and you register, you will be eligible to come for that dinner. So, there's no cost to you. We'll do our best to accommodate, spouses and family where possible. We expect probably about 100 to 120 delegates or so in the room. So we just make your plans now. It's at the Parkside Hotel and Spa, and I just hope people make this something as a priority. I will say that we're going to have some interesting things at the annual general meeting this year. Watch for some cultural activity sort of updates for that, particularly that evening event. We're going to have celebration. I know there'll be fiddling, there'll be some dancing, but there are also going to be some games and prizes that we're going to be introducing this year that we saw work very effectively with our friends up in Fort St. John at the event this last weekend. So all I'm going to say is we're looking to have a good time with everyone and make it a fun-filled evening. So Roseanne, what are you looking forward to the annual general meeting this year?
I am.
Yeah. What are you what are you thinking? What would you say to members about why they should think about coming to this particular meeting in September? Because obviously people got to make that decision. If they're not a paid delegate, we any full member can come. What would be your reason for them to come to the annual general meeting, or you're thinking that they'd want to hear?
I think the big thing would be the, how far we've come with the, legal declaration case, and where we're growing with, within our association. Like, we have some pretty cool, programs going on now, especially with, the Métis Child, Youth and Families, and, the elder program and youth programs, women's programs. I think it's, a good opportunity for people to come out and have a listen and see for themselves what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, and Renee, any words of encouragement? Why would you think members would want to come to the annual general meeting if they're not a paid delegate, if they just wanted to spend that day trying to learn more about the federation? Any advice you'd give them?
Well, I think it's, they should come and meet anyway, the people that will be reelected, I suppose. I'm looking forward. I think, the board, the previous board now, we've been working very hard at it. So many programs out there. I hope we continue. So no, I'm looking forward to it and hope a lot of people attend.
Perfect. Well, you know what? Hopefully we get people's attention. It's the first week. It's only June 27th. We're months ahead. So put that, save the date in your calendar. Think about it. Look on our website at bcmat.com. And I was just referring you to some of the links there. And yeah, put that in your calendar. I want to just welcome, some of you might have seen, we had another individual join our Michif language team. And so I just want to welcome, for those that maybe you missed it in the email update or on our website and so forth, meet Marla Klein. You know, Marla has joined the Federation as our mentor apprentice program coordinator. She's supporting the Michif French program and working hard to ensure that the MAP pilot is a success as BCMF takes tangible steps towards revitalizing this endangered language, which of course, many of you know that have been following us for a while. The French Michif dialect is what we've focused our Michif teaching on. So to learn more, reach out to Marla by email, map.coordinator@bcmat.com. So yeah, Marla's taken an office in the Vancouver office there, and she seems to be fitting in quite well with the team. And I know Renee, you've had the pleasure of working with Marla so far. How's it going so far with Marla?
Oh, excellent. You know, she's from Winnipeg. She's Métis. She's very knowledgeable. She's easy to work with. Yeah, we had a teleconference this morning, and she was great.
Yeah, and on that note, I'm sure some people may realize, but on that note of Michif language, the summer Michif newsletter is out now. So you may have seen this. This is sort of some screenshots of the Michif newsletter for summer 2024. Thank you, Vice President Therian. I know you've been doing a lot of work with our team to help provide the content and the information for this Michif language program. What was your role in putting together the summer Michif newsletter, Renee?
Well, it was just, talk about it, what would be good for the people to hear. And we've been at it for a little bit, and we want to do more. Of course, we should have one once a month. I would like to see it. So Jeannie is actually working on it, and I think it's going to happen.
So so the newsletter is out, is just been sent out. We've got, for those of you that haven't seen it on our website, you go to the news section, and I'll just bring us to that page. If you go to the news section, it's the fourth story. The summer, it's obviously was published June 24th, so just the other day. So it's out now. Have a look at it. Have a read of it. Renee, why don't we pick something here that maybe you can help us say in Michif, because I know I do that too often because I feel like you need to teach me and others so much more. Obviously, this was the Michif newsletter was talking about just introducing Marla. And of course, Jeannie's our director of language and culture, but it says Michif phrases. So let's go to the language corner. Mon nom, si, my name is.
Yes,
Keith.
mon nom, c'est.
Yeah.
C'est
So
bon
how,
pour te voir encore. See? C'était bon pour te voir encore. Nice to see you again.
C'est bon pour vrai encore.
Perfect. Well, you
Oh,
were raised French, monsieur, anyway,
yeah. Grew up, but I couldn't say it. I couldn't speak it well. And I always felt embarrassed when I tried. So I'm still having that, even though I'm doing it live on Coffee Talk tonight. But it's interesting because it is a French slang, but it's not spelt the same. It's very different in the spelling, right? And I always say to people, it's my grandma used to, I know we always talk about this on this show, but my grandma used to, when I was a kid, called it dirty French, not that she meant it was bad, just that's just the way that she described it because it wasn't quite the same as like the Paris French or it had some Korean there and other things, right? So, but yeah, can we say it one more time for our crowd? So we say, nice to see you again. Can you say that again, Renee?
c'était bon pour te voir encore.
C'est bon
C'était
pour
bon
vrai.
pour te voir encore.
C'est bon pour vrai encore.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mike? You think you could command the Michif language?
I'm listening.
How about you? How about you, Roseanne, in the background? Come on, technical. Can you say that?
No.
No?
But I'm learning.
Well, hey, if we can't have fun on ourselves, I mean, we got to remember the members. It's got to be pretty intimidating too. So, to the members watching, just remember we struggle with it too as leaders, and we're trying to, Renee's one of the few Michif speakers left. We got Earl Belcourt on our board, and of course, people like Francis Fisher and Betty, things like that. So we are very lucky that we have some great speakers in our midst. So, thank you guys for the patience. Let's just stop there for a minute. Let's give us another cultural. Let's see, or another fiddle tune. What do you think it's going to be, Renee?
It's going to be the Red Apple Rag.
Great job, gentlemen. Great job. I haven't heard that one too much before. Rennie, that's not a common one that you've personally played too often on this show before, I don't think.
No, I don't think I maybe once or twice in a
Yeah.
year or something.
Yeah. So I always say, I know I'm always curious because how many of these because you don't read sheet music, we can see that. So is it all by feel and sound for you, or do you read a lot of sheet music as well?
No, it's just ear sound. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't read music, so
yeah, yeah. That's how my grandfather played too. Same thing. He was never put a sheet of music in front of him. He couldn't read a single note, but he could play, like he could figure out the sound and the harmony, and that was it. He was on his way, sort of thing, right? But anyways, yeah, thank you for that. That was great. I do want to shift gears, Renee. And Roseanne, since you're there, I might draw you into this conversation. It's a little bit of a difficult conversation next because I know a lot of our members will have seen this. We recently just responded to another one of those difficult, I guess, however you want to say it. Many of our followers know that are our members, part of me, and people that have been following the Federation. There's been a lot of anti, Métis stuff that's happened in British Columbia, and we came out this week and we were quite aggressive. We just want to continue to let our members know, like, we don't accept any individual, whether it's First Nation or some other community, suggesting that that we're here to do things that is incorrect. Like, So the title of this is we refute the baseless claims. So again, we're refuting baseless and inflammatory accusations made by Taschat member Hugh Breaker of the First Nation Summit, who states the Métis are trying to lay claim to territorial resources. At a recent forum on fisheries, Breaker accused the Métis of putting a big strain on available dollars from the federal government. You know, I just, it's the same theme from the same individual. We've talked about this before. It was when at the AFN a number of months ago, and it seems like this individual for the First Nations Summit, I believe, is like kind of one of their senior officials. He's not. I think he's their CEO or executive director for the First Nation Summit, one of the three First Nation major leadership groups. I'm not here to say he's a terrible person, but I am here to say he needs to stop spreading misinformation or disinformation. You know, at this day and age, we do need to stop this because we, as the Métis, not our organization at the very least, because they specifically talks about the Federation, that we're taken away from strain on federal resources. So I just want to just quickly touch on that for a second because Renee and Roseanne, we've talked about that on the show before. You know, what's your like? How do you think we're supposed to be? You know, we hear that we all want to be respectful to each other. Like I take no joy in trying to debate with a community of any Indigenous people, let alone individuals. You know, what's your reaction when you see this kind of media come out from? I'll show people the article while we're talking, but what's your take on how are we to respond to these kind of things, or how does that impact you as a Métis person when you have an individual who's First Nation clearly trying to gaslight or create a divide between Métis and First Nations? Anything you want to say to that, Renee? First, I'll start with you, and then I'll go to Roseanne.
Well, I'm disappointed to hear that some of the First Nation think we should go away. But you know, it wasn't all that long ago, years ago. We used to work to be together. We used to, you know, my great grandmother was First Nation. So I don't know what they're doing. We're not here to take any rights from anybody. We're only here to exercise our right. So no, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, to be honest.
Yeah, what's your take on? Is there anything for you, Roseanne? Like your thoughts on this, if you want to say anything at all, or
Well, I'm disappointed. I mean, to deny us, they may as well be denying their own. We are Indigenous. We have First Nation ancestors. We didn't come about this because we chose it. It's who we are. And it's disappointing that they would think that because we want to help and take care of our of British Columbia coastal waters, whether it's rivers, springs, or what have you, and do our part to help to make sure that for the next 7 generations we have our nations have an ability to harvest and what have you. I think it's silly.
yeah,
It's
I think
disappointing. There's no reason for it.
yeah, like
We're working.
I feel the same as what both you and Renee are saying. First of all, it wasn't so long ago that it seemed like there was more respect and recognition of each other. That yes, we were maybe different in the sense of like we're Métis and they're First Nation and different First Nation communities, but you know, to the point that we also have that First Nation connection through our genealogy. But second, you know, that us fighting and dividing each other probably isn't all that healthy, and we should be trying to work together. So the article, as we were talking, it was just released June 13th, and that's what we put out in response. And it was the link on the Federation website. And again, it's concerns about assertion of Métis rights on the BC coast discussed at a fisheries forum. And again, our response that I just touched on was about basically trying to say that's actually not what we said in a nutshell. But again, there's been this ongoing strategic attempt by people like Mr. Breaker who keeps raising at these forums, and in you know some of the First Nations there we have no relationship. A lot of them we might know them individually in passing here and there, but it's dangerous to give misinformation when that's not true. And so First Nations, I understand, some of them might feel, oh, here comes the Métis trying to take our territory, take our resources, take our stuff, and that's just not true. That's not what we do with coastal conservation at all. So let's just touch quickly on this. This came out. I won't go through everything that he said, but of course, I will say to this particular paper, the oldest First Nation newspaper, particularly focuses on Vancouver Island, and Mr. Eric Plumer. I do thank them because they did actually put a reasonable article. They wrote what they did about what First Nation, this case the fisheries, were saying. They're saying that what in fact is happening concerning the Métis and their activities in British Columbia is potentially infringing on our rights, said a councillor, Cliff Atleo. Make no mistake about it, we're not going to be still and quiet about this issue. Well, that's fine. I understand it, but we're not actually taking your resources, and we're not trying to take your rights either, by the way. And the Métis are putting on a big strain on available dollars, noted Breaker. When they take funds out of the pot, that leaves less funds for others. Well, again, I think there's a big misunderstanding on how much money is available to our programs and our resources. Generally, these are general programs of application that all Indigenous communities access. And we know some of these programs are less than 1%, some are 3% of the total budgets handed out. Like, it's such a minuscule amount that I cannot believe that they don't quantify this in these statements. So anyways, it is what it is. And it goes on in here and says BCMF has no right or authority to make decisions with respect to any First Nations territory in BC, including how to manage or steward those lands and waters. We're not trying to tell people how to manage and steward. What we're just teaching our individuals is around environmental stewardship, making sure that our younger generation and our current, whoever our membership is that attends, that our work, beach cleanups and others, that we're just supporting good environmental practices. We're not taking anything away. We're actually just encouraging environmental stewardship in a responsible Métis way. That's it. There's not about inserting rights. And I find it interesting that when we do our beach cleanup, a lot of our beach cleanup people, that's one of the many things we do with our coastal conservation work, around teaching good water and land terrestrial stewardship. Actually, there are a lot of First Nations. There's First Nations that have come out and been part of it. So, I mean, there's just so many reasons why I'm concerned about this, and we have been talking about it a number of times. So I won't go on too much other than say that, at least in this particular media coverage, they did say, though, that it was nice that I believe that they at least gave me an opportunity to speak on behalf of us. And so I just tried to do my best to set the record as straight as I could, yet again, against people like Mr. Breaker and others, that there continues to be an incorrect public narrative that the BC Métis Federation's work is an expression of efforts to claim land and territory from First Nations. And I believe the people that are doing this very deliberately so they can keep a wedge between any of us sort of just maybe standing back a minute and maybe trying to figure out ways to better work together. They don't want us. Some people just don't literally want to work with us, and that's fine. But they're trying to, I think, in a weird sort of way, convince every First Nation to not work with Métis. Anyways, this is not true. The Coastal Conference was created to support environmental and water protection behaviors of our Métis community. We're not claiming water jurisdiction, but our members and communities mandate our leadership to support environmental activities. It's as simple as that. And, I just will continue to just try our best to educate, to explain, and so forth. So I feel, I feel at least we're starting to get a bit of more balanced media on this one, particularly in this last case. But I just I wish this stuff would come to a place where we could just find a better way to talk. And I wish the First Nations, rather than running and having their forums, some of these individuals, they would come and sit down and talk with us. It's an open invitation. Like Mr. Breaker, I'm really frustrated with him, but at the end of the day, I guess he's got a job to do. So as do I. And so I hope that at some point they will just engage us with the First Nations Summit, since he represents them. We've offered protocol, anything they want to figure out with protocol, I'll be happy to sit and talk with them. But they've got to want to engage in that, and hopefully one day they do. So, any final thoughts on that, Renee or Roseanne? I know it's it's one of those topics that we don't like to really get into too much, but any final thoughts on this?
Well, we're not here to take anything away from the First Nation, and I believe BC Métis Federation is going to take the high road and move forward and see what happens.
Yeah. How about yourself, Roseanne? Any final thoughts on this?
I feel the same way. We have to work together to benefit all. So either they accept it or, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to give up because they feel threatened by something that doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, it's like they're looking for the boogeyman in the closet that's just not there. Like, I mean, now listen, hey, we all know there's some of Métis members out there that say all sorts of radical points of view, but our actual leadership, our elected leadership, we're not saying these things, so, we're trying to find a way to create bridges and relationships, not create more conflict. And I just hope we get to a better place. I'll leave it at that for now. And I'm going to move us on to our next item. Okay. I'm sure that we've talked that thing enough to death. I don't know you guys, but I hope everyone had a great National Indigenous Peoples Day this last week. We just came off, obviously, the summer solstice, June 21st, National Indigenous Peoples Day. Many of you know this became an official day of recognition for Indigenous people each year on June 21st. It was the current Prime Minister Trudeau put that in place with his government. I think it was 2017. But there was two things we did, and we sort of talked a bit about it on the show today. We had the event up at the north with our partners, the North Peace Métis Community Association. Their leadership, Jocelyn Izard and others up from Fort St. John, of course, Karen Prowse, and many others were up there. We had a great weekend event. I loved it. I know there's some photos here in the background. And I see Renee and Mike are with the family jamboree there, and that was a partnership with Old Fort Métis Nation. We did it in Charlie Lake, which is really part of Fort St. John. But that was great. And so again, I don't want to go too much into this, but Mike, that was one of your first events, and Renee, what is it? What was your most? What was it? One of your one single thing that maybe jumped out at you over the weekend, Renee?
Well, I really enjoyed it. It was well organized. The music was good. There was lots of work, lots of play for the kids. And then, of course, Elvis was there. That was excellent. And there was bingo. And then there was Bev Lambert showed up, and then she was getting everybody up. And, it was and I met some old friends. I played with Eric Ashdown. I haven't played with him for about 20 years. They were excellent. Deep down, I think it was a well organized, and I hope they have it again next year.
Yeah, I put on the screen here beside us. That's the president or one of the leaders, Jocelyn, at the Family Jamboree. I thought it was great too. Like I have to admit, I was really thought it was well organized. Of course, there's Joe and his wife Danielle. Our one of our other Dutch executive, our treasurer Earl Belcourt at the desk. It was nice. It was a pretty intense. I think we were playing bingo in this picture. It got very intense. I forgot how competitive bingo was and how much our people love bingo. Did you play bingo, Renee?
I did for about one game or two, and then I was too busy talking to old friends.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was. I did. I enjoyed it. How about yourself, Roseanne? Were you playing bingo? Were you competitive?
I was calling. I was
Oh,
calling
that's right.
bingo.
Well,
Yeah.
so how are you going to handle bingo now? At the AGM, let's be honest, one of the activities we're going to do in the evening, we're actually going to give some cash prizes away for our members at the evening bingo or at the annual general meeting, September 7th. Are you going to be calling bingo, or are you going to be just enjoying the evening that day?
I don't know. I like the calling, but I'd like to play too.
Yeah, there was some great indigenous culinary there as well. But let me tell you, for the AGM, the bingo was such a hit up in Fort St. John with our partners. We're doing some pretty decent prizes for our bingo at the AGM. So there could be anywhere from $500 to $1,000, people. So I hope you come out that evening. We're going to have a really great event. So I thought it was a great, yeah, there's Elvis. Yeah, yeah, Métis Elvis was a huge hit there. I got to tell you guys. I don't know about. I don't know what your thoughts were. That's the second I've seen our Métis Elvis friend from Alberta come a few times to some of our community events. He has been quite the sensation at every single one of these. Any thoughts of you turning into a Métis Elvis there, Mr. Vice President?
No, I think he was great. We saw him a couple of years in Terrace, and he's as excellent. And I enjoyed him. I hope we see him again.
Yeah. And it was great to have, obviously, yeah, just skipping ahead. Roseanne, it was great to have, obviously, you and Ray playing your songs. And it was, you're not only a strong Métis leader, you're also a great musician as well. Did you enjoy playing?
I did. Thank you. It was after not playing for about a year, it felt really good to be up there on stage again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you did a great job, and it's all of these things all came. Well, yeah, for me, the highlight was Priscilla. I saw Priscilla walking around kissing pretty much every guy there, making friends everywhere. That was quite the event. Anyway, oh, come on, here we go. There's Métis Bev doing some jigging and some dancing with the kids, right? Well, there you have it, folks. It was a lot of fun, and I really, really did enjoy it. And I live for those events. I really, I know we get. I think some people that watch us probably think all we do is play music once in a while and have some events and fun. But there actually is a lot of programs and work going on behind the scenes. But I have to say, those are the real things that make the difference for us. So on that note, Renee, why don't you and Mike give us another song for tonight? What are you going to play next?
I'm going to try, it's called Sonny's Two-Step. It's written by Ryan Kipling, excellent fiddle player. I'll see if I could play it.
Great job, gentlemen. Great job. Really enjoyed that. Thank you very much. I'm going to just carry on though, because we got a couple of other topics I want to just touch on before we get out of for our next monthly show in July. In fact, I'll come to that at the end. I think we may not be here in July because July is kind of a summer month. We're not sure yet. We'll have to figure that out. But some other important updates to share with our members here and partners and friends watching tonight or watching the recording after. We are continuing to build the sort of engagement with all levels of municipal, provincial, federal government individuals. And our research team just met with the Abbotsford Mayor and city staff, as well as the Coquitlam city staff. So our team's been out being invited to various municipalities across British Columbia just to touch on the history of the Pacific Northwest and the Métis and how that fits within this. And I want to thank our director of research, of course, Joe Desjardins, that you can see in the photo here, him in the middle with the black suit, and right beside him is his colleague, Dr. Bruce Shelby, and of course, they lead our research department. And we're just continuing to build those relationships with different levels of government, and just trying to help people understand, what is the actual history, that the Métis aren't just people from the prairies, that there was a Pacific Northwest reality of our history and deep historic roots right through the Pacific Northwest, which really goes all the way from the Yukon down to California and includes British Columbia. So, we continue to get out there, continue to research, continue to share these things with that. And it's one of those things where we've been asking for inclusion and partnerships. And it's not about it's about building those relationships for our grassroots members in every one of those cities across British Columbia. And there's a lot more to do, but I just want our friends and our members and our partners to know this is the work we are definitely starting to work on and do it, and will continue to do. So we'll just keep our members apprised as this unfolds across or throughout British Columbia. Now, the next, I just want to just touch on, I had a great, this last week, I was also able to meet with our partner community in West Kelowna or Kelowna. I met with our friends at the Métis Association of Central Okanagan. You know, this has been a very difficult last year for the organization. Many of you know their previous leader was a man by the name of Greg Mazur, who was very close to all of us within the Federation and close to many of you watching online. But, you know, we're trying to rebuild or keep building the Métis Association of Central Okanagan. So I met with their board. I had a really nice meeting with them, and they're just getting things moving again after it's been a difficult last basically 4 months. And so yeah, they're planning things. There'll be we're having a board meeting in Okanagan, in West Kelowna, pardon me, in July, and we're certainly look forward to meeting with our friends there and just continuing to build that partner community and build their cultural work they're doing for the Kelowna/West Kelowna Okanagan area. So thank you to their leadership for hosting me and just talking and doing some strategic planning. You know, I really, there's some great individuals here that I'll talk about in the future about some other things, but definitely just a super group of people. And thank you for the work that they're doing on behalf of the Métis people in that area, and particularly obviously our members. A reminder to all of you as well that there is ongoing employment opportunities posted on our job board, and please continue if you're looking for work. These are some of the examples of the work that we're doing on the job board. There's a general labor here. You can see Williams Lake, certified saw filler in Vanderhoof, journeyman millwright being sought in Quesnel, and production laborers full-time in Prince George. So we're posting jobs from a number of our partners. You can see West Fraser, Sinclair Group, and of course, these are positions in just, partner companies that have working with us one form or another and want us to help promote their job opportunities. So if you are looking, or businesses, if you have a job opening, please send information to jobs@bcmétis.com to have it listed on our job board. And if you're looking for employment opportunities, don't be afraid to reach out to us, to our representative, Jennifer Percival, whose contact information is, of course, on our website. So yeah, just a reminder about some of the opportunities that we're starting to see across British Columbia, still continuing with many, many different partners. Now, just quickly switching gears into some of the other programming, the Métis women's work that we've been doing. There's ongoing work that's coming up here this weekend in Vancouver. And I look forward to, if I get a chance, I'm certainly going to try and stop in and just have a quick visit with the program. It's a free program. This, obviously, June 29th is coming up this Saturday from 10 a.m. till noon. It's basically a Finding Your Voice women's program, relationship awareness, raising the red flag. So it's free to register. These are in kind, or the Federation is providing support. We're working with the Greater Vancouver Métis Association. We've been working to build that organization. I know our team is looking forward to having people show up. I don't know if registration's filled. I didn't get that information at the time when I'm broadcasting now. But just please, if you're interested in this program, contact Danielle Desjardins. Sorry, I better make sure I get her email right. I better pull that up to make sure I get this right, because I don't want to give anyone online tonight the wrong information. But without a doubt, it's just give me a quick second. I should know this off the top of my head. I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, it's d.desjardins@bcmétis.com. I should have known that. d.desjardins@bcmétis.com. And that's Danielle Desjardins. So she'll be helping, she's pulling the program together. She's helping coordinate the individuals to participate and register. So, just please, if you're looking for some women's program for this weekend, there's another opportunity for you. Coming up as well, after that program in Vancouver for the women, that they may also want to attend, or maybe just want to attend in the afternoon. But again, it will be Create Your Spirit Animal, a spiritual guided meditation workshop. This is a special women-only workshop. Again, a Greater Vancouver Métis Association event. It's from 1 till 3, and we're hosting this, I should have said in the last item too, both of these workshops are at the BC Métis Federation head office in our cultural space, or our large boardroom, located at 390-3665 Kingsway in Vancouver. So again, if you're interested in either one of these workshops, please do not hesitate to email Danielle at d.desjardins@bcmétis.com. So those are now coming up this weekend. So I will stop there for a quick second. Renee, I think it's time for another fiddle tune. We went quickly through some stuff there. Why don't you give us one more tune?
Okay, it's an old Métis tune called Leather Breeches.
Well, that's definitely a good old Métis tune. Anyone that's been to any Métis event in the last number of years will know right away, Leather Breeches. So thank you, Renee. That's always brings back some great, well, reflection of memories, events, you name it. So, but thanks for playing that, you guys, very much. I always enjoyed that song. I'm going to finish the show with just a small. I just want to do a little bit of a focus here on the coastal conservation, because it is always up. But so I will continue my best to just try and share that information about what actually this does in the coastal conservation work we're doing. So I want to thank our team. This is a bit of our May update. Our team does a lot of work in terms of presenting the information. We do a lot too. We have coastal conservation people signed up on the separate email update and distribution. There's things that we're working on all the time. So, again, we did the sweeping the shores. There'll be a second shoreline cleanup here of the year at Kitsilano Beach. Well, this particular newsletter speaks to that. Now, sweeping the shores, that happened, pardon me, this is an event that was just, this last month. And these are events where we're just bringing the Métis people that live in these areas and friends together. We're cleaning up the beaches. We've had some First Nation people come out. We're just trying to support that. And I think in the newsletter, we're trying to make sure that people aren't misunderstanding the work that we're doing with this particular program. And this is just some of the images of, it was a beautiful day out this event in Kitsilano. Our team was also trying to learn about marine response, because a lot of our community doesn't understand, what are the safety measures in place for marine potential oil spills, things like that. It's one of those things that our community members were asking about. So, the government of Canada's main response is through the Western Canadian Marine Response Corporation. And so our team went on site and just had a look at what do they actually do and what is the equipment they have at this particular facility, in this case, in the Lower Mainland. So they took out some of our team, they just gave them an overview of what exactly is the Western Canadian Marine Response Corporation, and what is the equipment they have within it. So we're just learning, we're fact finding, we're trying to figure out. For those that want to follow along as well, the work, we do have a coastal conservation podcast called the Aqua Agenda, and it's led by our Department of Conservation. And so, yeah, Angel Fisher, the team, Zia and others, Tanner, we're putting out podcasts discussing specific things, inviting certain guests. And so the next podcast will be coming out very soon. So, I encourage you to have by all means, to look for the Aqua Agenda on Spotify and continue to learn a bit more about what it is we're doing with the work. The department also, they were also in a trip to Clearwater. And in this case, this is something in the newsletter. It was with one of our Learn Machif workshops. So our team went out there to Clearwater and they're providing information about the department and the work. And that's just some of the information there. So, there's nothing in here about fighting for rights. There's nothing in this particular work that we're doing to sort of undermine First Nations or even for that matter, just if I can keep saying it, to suggest that we have rights or we're exercising certain rights on that land. So, I thought I would show some of the other work that they do. I'm going to bring us to a drone video that our team took on some of the work they were doing and just out recently of Tofino while they were there with the team. And I just it's more for entertainment purposes, but we're out there, we're teaching young people about coastal conservation, trying our best to just help them and to learn about how to be better stewards of the beaches, the water, the terrestrial areas of British Columbia, which is important for all of our futures. Okay, well, that was one of the drone videos that our team put together. Very interesting. But anyways, it's one of those things where we're just continuing to try and have our team out. That was shot by our team in Tofino. Very, very good. They also did a whale tour and things like that. So these things are coming up. What I want to finish with is that they have an upcoming shoreline cleanup on July 13th. Now, those of you in the Lower Mainland, by all means, please, like if you're members, you want to get involved just in coastal cleanup, good public behavior, whether you're Métis or not. We want to contribute to coastal support and cleanups and things like that. So we're doing our next sweeping the shores with the conservation department of the BCMF. We're doing sweeping the shores July 13th from 10 till 12 noon at Crescent Beach in Surrey. And so join us for the shoreline cleanup. We'll provide trash pickers, biodegradable bags and gloves, but feel free to bring your own, of course. Enjoy refreshments sponsored by the Sunflower Cafe. Register online now. So head over to our website or look for Coastal Water Protectors and you'll find a registration process for this. That's so we just know like how much supplies we need primarily. But anyone, of course, we'd love to see a lot of people coming out and supporting coastal cleanup. So yeah. So get on out there. I also want to say while we were on the show, hi, Cindy Wilgosh, one of our community leaders from Clearwater. They are having a picnic in the park in Kamloops for the Federation members. This is in Kamloops now on a Sunday. So the next day, Sunday, July 14th, 12 till 2, free for our members, lunch provided. Emails or phone calls going out tomorrow. Okay, so watch for emails, watch for phone calls. Those of you in the Kamloops area, Cindy Wilgosh will be bringing, of course, the North Thompson Métis community and trying to get more engagement in the Kamloops area. So yeah, watch for I guess they're having picnic in the park. Let's watch for that. Okay, Renee, what do you think? Lots going on right now. Before you get into your music, any updates you want to share? Anything that you feel we haven't touched on yet in this show for this month of June?
Well, I think you touched on a lot of them. Our AGM is coming up. Now we just went to Fort St. John. I'm looking forward to August 16, 17, and 18. That'll be our festival. I'm looking forward because we got some great entertainment. So pretty well, that's what I'm looking for.
Well, yeah, I guess we better not forget about that. You've got a pretty big event happening up in that neck of the woods as well. I forgot. What's happening up in Terrace in August?
It's a music festival, and we may just have maybe some bingo, where it was fun to play bingo. I only played a little bit, but people sure enjoyed it, and I think we should try it anyway. And if I could convince Elizabeth, I think we might have a bingo game.
Well, I tell you, I have to admit, I saw a serious level of competition in Fort St. John, and everyone was very intense, listening very carefully about what the next number was going to be. So it's inspired us at the Federation to include it as part of our annual general meeting this year. I'm telling you, it 100% works. So I can understand why. The event though up in Terrace, that's your Métis community event, is it not?
Yes, that's what is it? 18, I think, eh?
16, 17.
16, 17, and 18, yeah. It's our
Well,
second year after COVID. Pardon? It's in
yeah, I'm gonna
August.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up. It's the Skeena Valley Country Music Festival. We didn't,
That's right.
it's we'll get it up on our site on our events page fairly soon for the 16th, 17th, and 18th at the Thornhill Community Center. And the ticket prices are there. I know the Federation, we're proud to sponsor this year again. And if you're interested, email Skeena River Métis at gmail.com. Or sorry, Skeena Riv Métis at gmail.com.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. So next month we're gonna, or I guess that's a month and a half, just about 2 months away. But yeah, make your plans to attend now, I guess, right? I mean, that's really what we're talking about here. So yeah, yeah. So any other final thoughts from the show today?
No, I think we covered just about everything, and thank you for inviting us. And I want to thank Mike for his good guitar playing.
Well, so one of the comments online is Renee, you better do grocery bingo. I think people want money, not grocery. I don't know, maybe they want grocery bingo. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know what the difference is. Call me a bingo juvenile here. I don't know what the difference is. Roseanne, come on, help me out. What's grocery bingo?
That's Jocelyn's baby. She has regular grocery bingos there in Fort St. John.
So
After food.
if you get one line, you get a bag of groceries. Is that the idea?
I think you get a gift card for maybe Safeway or one of the grocery stores, IGA there.
It all helps. Okay, Roseanne, what do you think? Any last things you want to share about the show today?
It was an awesome show. Great, glad to be a part of it. Looking
Yeah.
forward to the next one.
I feel like I say this every show because we don't see you when you speak, but I know you're there. It's like you're God. Hello, is that God? Where is that? Yeah.
Take a little
Yes.
peek over.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Renee, why don't you give us one last good fiddle song before we wind the show down?
Okay.
Great job, guys.
Great job, guys. Thank you.
Oh, it's so good that I'm speaking. It's an echo, but thank you very much for another great show of entertainment. By the way, the people have answered me here online while I've been monitoring. Apparently, according to Danielle, you win a few grocery items each time on the going back to the grocery bingo. Last time I did it in a certain community, I won some Fruit Loops and toilet paper. I'd rather get money than just a box of Fruit Loops and a toilet paper. I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather just get a $20 bill. But anyways, thank you, Danielle. And thanks everyone for online. I know there's a lot of friends and that watching online. And just what I ask of everyone, just please share the show, encourage people to get involved, understand a bit of information about the Federation. We're proud we shared some Michif language. Thank you to our Vice President, Renee, and his colleague, Mike, for sharing Métis culture. Thank you again, Roseanne. We really do our best to try and give you news information. Plan for the annual general meeting. I look forward to hearing how the women's programs go at the Federation office this weekend. Again, if you're interested, call email Daniel Desjardins, d.desjardins@bcmétis.com. That's still this Saturday starting 10 till noon. And then in the afternoon, there's the two workshops. One is the Red Flag workshop, and the other one is the Spirit Animal Meditation workshop. So yeah, I look forward to hearing how those things go. Other than that, you guys, I want to say have a great rest of your June. I know we're heading for July. Monday's a holiday, July 1st, Canada Day. And of course, we may not have the show in July. I'll talk to our, for now, plan for it, but it's July, maybe it's summertime. I haven't decided yet. So Renee, do you think you can give us a July show? I don't know. Are you going to be away, or are you going to be available at the end of July?
I might be around that, but you never know. You never know. We'll have
Okay.
to see.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll try and keep it going. We might have to. We got to promote Skeena River event. We might be at the end of July after saying all that. Okay. Anyways, Roseanne, thank you for your technical support. My name's Keith Henry. I'm the president of the BC Métis Federation. Thank you for joining me for this Thursday, June 27th. I look forward to seeing you next month. Have a great night, everyone, and see you on the Métis trails.